JavaScript introduction, try to recollect. So this much of speed it is not executing, sir. Our web page is loading that much of speedily not possible, sir. But Google search of Flipkart or Gmail, Amazon available. A page how much data we have? So much of data. But how much time it is taking for loading? Fraction of milliseconds only it is loading. And the background HTML is running faster, CSS running faster, JavaScript is running faster, then the total content is going to open, sir, very quickly. Otherwise, today if you open the web page, tomorrow morning breakfast time, the web page content is comes. Doesn't matter. You know or not, you are believing or not, I don't know, sir. But nowadays we are downloading the movies or softwares, right? How much time, sir? 1.2 GB movie is there. Original movie, downloading option available, suppose 1.2 GB. But how much time generally? 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Depends upon the your network speeds. In the high speed, below 5 minutes also possible. Geo fiber gani ACT gani below 5 minutes is possible. 2 to 3 minutes is downloading. Geo fiber or ACT, Act fiber is there na. That is 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so 1.25 GB is downloading. High speed. But when I'm studying like you some years back, or 10 years, 11 years back situation I'm saying, if that day the online movies are not available. No, we don't have any online movies concept. The last 7 years, 8 years this concept is available. So 10 years back there is no online movies, etc. We want to download the softwares. Windows operating system or Java software or Oracle software. What we are doing now, night before going to the bed, we are starting the download. Morning it is completed download. Fact really happens. When I'm studying like you as a student, Java, Oracle learning time, so much practicing software is required. Night if I started the download, next day morning it is completed download. The matter. You are not believing, but it is a fact. In my student life, it is happens. That day to this day, see how much difference available. Java software available, sir. That hardly 700 MB ఉంటుంది 600 700 MB ఉంటుంది. Full software if you download it, like at least 5 to 6 hours it takes the downloading of that one. That is network speed that only, and that is computer speed also that only. i3, i7, 10th generation, Pentium 2, Pentium 3 process. Pentium 2, Pentium 3 process and that is a process speed also less. RAMs are 4 GB computer and that is 1 GB 512 MB RAMs. That is schools institutes running. But now 16 GB, cheap. Correct, that is the rate. My institute, my college, 256 MB RAMs, 512 MB RAMs I use it when I'm practicing the programs. 256, 512 అంటే super configuration. 512 MB RAM అంటే half GB RAM. Half GB you have never seen అనుకుంటా. మీ స్టార్టింగ్ 1 GB or 2 GB I think మీ generations for your. My generation 512 MB అంటేనే extreme level అది. In that system, so programs practicing this, imagine once in this type of big tasks, downloading of the software, sir. But nowadays generation, that much of speed working also network systems, so sir, still my system working slowly, sir. You're feeling it or sometimes? My net is working slowly, sir. Downloading taking more time, sir. The technology, that much of growth is going on. message if you are interested. I can print the I value also. So this is printing of hello message repeatedly, and this one is printing of the what natural numbers. Both can we write it as your interest, sir. We can write both also, no problem. This is 1 to 10. Instead of space, can I use the NBSP as your interest? NBSP we can use. It is space manually NBSP operator. Most spaces case compulsory NBSP are required, because manually if I given the 2-3 spaces, but output comes only 1 space. 2-3 spaces doesn't come. In the HTML days we know already that one, sir. Not now. So if you are expecting more than 1 space, I think compulsory we should go for the multiple NBSPs. What is NBSP? Please don't ask any question. So this is clockwise direction loop, starting with 1 no, ending with 10. Next I want to go for the anti-clockwise, sir, the reverse task. So starting with the 10 no, ending with 1, sir. Yes, 100%. I'm just taking a small line break here. Otherwise in the same line this output also it will comes. But already we have some gap, same line it will continues. So without the same line, just go for the line break operation, start the fresh loop. What is my I value, sir? My I value is 10. Next, while followed by I greater than 0. It stops with 1. Next, I minus minus, decrementation operation. So 10 downs to 9, 9 to 8, 8 to 7, like that. And here also, sir, I just want to print the numbers. I value, I want to print it within the NBSP. So first loop rotating the 1 to n, second loop is rotating the n to 1. Clockwise direction, anti-clockwise direction, plus plus, minus minus, greater than or less than. Flavors, sir. While developing of the program, sometimes we should go for this one, sometimes we should go for this one. Both required. Just for awareness, I'm going to say, in any direction we can rotate the loop. Execution what, sir? Execution I already explained in the diagram, sir. This is firstly checking the condition. Condition success, enter into the loop, printing the number. After that, update the loop, means counter variable, I plus plus. I plus plus after, again come back to the condition. Still condition success are rotated. Again condition success are rotated. Condition checking, printing you I plus plus. Only condition checking, printing you I plus plus. Condition checking, printing you I plus plus. When all this condition falls, then we'll come out of the loop. So this is the way to write while loop. Same process we can write the do while loop also. But you said in the theory part of code reducing, simplifying, sir, that I already shown, sir. I want to print the hello message 10 times. You should write actually 10 printing statements. But instead of the 10 printing statements, here I finished with the 4 to 5 printing statements. So after execution of the program, after getting of the output, once you can go for the inspect option, sir. Right click, last option. Right click and go to the last option, inspect. But after execution program, we can see that one. Observe 1, 2, 3, 4. The system internally, what is the code it is building? That one is displaying here. See this. 1 NBSP semicolon, 2 NBSP semicolon, 3 NBSP semicolon, up to 10 NBSP semicolon. This line output is that one. But this number of times we are not designed the loop building all these statements. our loop is forming all these statements. Same thing can be seen view sources, sir. View source not visible. View source what you typed, that is only visible. In view source what you typed, that only visible. But in inspect, sir, after execution source code is displayed. But after a running execution of these loops, what is the source code it is building in background, that code is visible. View source to inspect, that is a small difference. View source what you typed, that exactly display. Inspect option, typing after code executed, output generated. For generation of that output, what is the code internally developed? The internal code is going to display. So next to for loop, sir. Same style for loop with little bit changes are comes in writing style. A loop is loop only, sir. There is no specialization of that one. Implementation style, some are the shortcuts, some are the little bit long process. So for loop, for followed by inative value, semicolon, condition, semicolon, incrementation or decrementation. Number of items or number of components, if you observe it. Last loop, what we have, the same things available here also. Inative value is there, condition available, incrementation available. But in the previous loop, these are all the three components available in the three different places. Initialization available outside the loop, condition available along with the loop, incrementation available inside the loop. Three parts of three different places are there. But comes to the for loops, are all comes to the single line, so little bit shortcut. Rest of things working common. First it is taking the inative value, then testing the condition and entering into the loop. After completion of the loop body, control is goes to incrementation. So first inative value, then condition, condition successor, then body of the loop. Body of the loop completed will reach us to end of the loop. Whenever you comes to end of the loop, sir, control is goes to incrementation. Incrementation next, sir, condition. Now color changing. Incrementation and the first iteration is completed. Second iteration starting. Incrementation after condition. Initialization not available. Condition after loop body. Up to end of the loop.
Hello?
Is going to perform. And initialization executes only first time only. The second time onwards, incrementation condition, incrementation condition, incrementation condition. Diagram also say the positions changing, that's all. Check the condition, success, enter into the loop, done. Go for incrementation or decrementation. After that, again go back to the condition. This cycle is going on. Whenever it is false, then we'll jumping out of this. So the same program I'm going to redesigning with for loop. For let I equals to 1, I is less than 0, semicolon, I plus plus. Semicolon is the part of the syntax, sir, not my personal. A for loop inside semicolon is there, that is a part of the syntax, not my personal. If you are interested or not interested, semicolon compulsory. Condition is there or not, semicolon compulsory. Initialization is there or not, semicolon compulsory. Incrementation is there or not, semicolon compulsory. If you are not writing all these things, sir, still semicolon compulsory. Otherwise, sir, syntax error it will comes. Other parts you are using or not as a developer, your choice, but semicolons browser's choice. So the matter what? Semicolon must. Rest of things your wish. So this is, and one more small point I'm explaining, sir. Recently we discussed the differences between the var and let. So in that some couple of points can you say differences var versus let? Huh? Var is uh, let is local. Huh? What you said? Var let Hindu Ravat. Perfect answer. Yes, where is global, let is local. Where supports the redefinition, let not supports the redefinition. Where is old, let is new. Hoisting. Where supports the hoisting and let is not supports the hoisting. But a local word is there, na? A local meaning is this one, sir. But I'm defining the I variable inside the for loop. So this I is the local variable of this for loop. And how much time this for loop is running, that much of time this I is available in memory block. Once the for loop is completed, sir, this I variable is also destroyed. Because still so much of program is there, sir. Still so much of program is there, but that variable defined for only for loop purpose. That variable is defined only for the for loop purpose. So how much time the for is running, that much of time only it is available. The purely local of the for loop. Outside the for loop, can I use this I variable as a 100% no chance you will get the error. Like here for loop completed together. So here I want to in this statement I want to display the I variable, sir. Error is comes. You can test it also. But under situation syncing, sir, not demanding, just situation syncing. So that's why I'm going to explaining the point. This is the writing of this simple for loop. Brackets compulsory, yes, sir. Last session I already explained, sir. Single statement at the brackets are optional. Multiple statements at the brackets are compulsory. But now this statement gives the error. This for loop is producing output, no problem. So 1 to 10 for loop output is completed successfully, but in our console error is aware. I is not defined. But I defined, yes, I defined and 10 times also used it. But while using of the 11th time, it is sending you go on. But a for loop completed, sir, that's a variable is also gone. This is nothing but a local variables. This type of scenarios use always let. If I use var here, sir, not correcting. If you use var also, that is a local again. If you use the where also, it is a local only because place effect also compulsory. Keyword only not deciding, place also deciding. Let can be used anywhere in the program, but where cannot. Sir or madam, reversely you are saying the point. Where we can use anywhere in the program, not let. Ayyayyo. But this is not our actual concept. The matching, sir. A theory part we discussed. Practically here it's matching. Now I'll back to my actual concept. PR tag, line break operation. There is no problem. 100% will get the output. So for loop with the clockwise direction. Next, I want to write the one more for loop, sir. You have to redefine the I variable again. Again, I variable defining compulsory. The compulsory ante old I variable destroyed, local variable. Next time for loop starting, fresh I variable is created. Every for loop they are using their own variables. On a disposal glasses, a disposal plate style anamata. Taking, eating, throwing, like that. So I equals to 10, I greater than 0, and I minus minus. Print I value. So it prints the 10 to 1 numbers. So how many I variables is created in this program, sir? 2 I variables are created, sir. For first loop, for loop, separate I variable. Second for loop, separate I variable. But I said, don't use the var, you have to use the let only. At a local variable point covered, sir. Actually, it's not main point. For loop writing is the main point. At the same time, I tried to cover the local variable. I confusion is available, sir. Very good. You can go for the J. J equals to 10, J greater than 0, J minus minus, and print the J value. Simple. Both local variables now. Pronunciation also easy. I is the local variable for first for loop, J is the local variable for the second for loop. Both variables memory allocated while starting off the corresponding loops. That particular loop. Both variables are destroyed while end of the corresponding loops. Now both created, both destroyed. What is the proof, sir? My program completed together. Open console. We can test the programs in console. No idea, na? Where is undefined. J variable here undefined. I is undefined and J is also undefined. Temporary purpose I. Loop starting variable memory allocated. Loop completed variable smashed. Use and throw, sir. Use, throw it. So how to write the for loops? This is an idea. It is also for reducing the repetition of the statements or duplication of the steps. The initial value, semicolon, conditional, semicolon, stepping value, and this is the body of the loop. And next, for loop, while loop, both checking the condition. When they are checking, sir, while enters of the loop. That's what we called as a top testing loop. But condition success, sir, then you are entering into the loop. Observe, by chance condition failure, sir, we are directly jumping out of the loop. If total operation skip. While loop also testing the condition while entrance of the loop only. So top testing loops. Now we are moving to the bottom testing loops are do while loop. A condition shifting to the bottom of the diagram. See this one. First initialize the variables are initialization success. Condition not available. Directly enter into loop. Then execute the body of the loop. The loop execution completed. One round. Next round I want to go, sir. Then check the condition. Next round I want to go for that one, sir. So check the condition. Condition success, sir. Go ahead. So first to perform the task, then check the condition. Previous two loop where we used the sounds pre-post operations and remember pre-post pre-post. Recently somewhere we used this increment decrement operators are pre-increment to post increment. Pre means first increment, then do the other task. Post means first do the other task, then increment. Like that, the precondition, post condition operation. First check the condition, then run the code. Previous two loops. This one's are first run the code, then check the condition. And you got the top in the bottom. Have entry, these are the exits. The do while processor. Now already initialization available outside the loop as per this diagram. Initialization after you are directly entering into the condition. Sorry, for loop. Your loop we are directly entering. We don't have any checkings here. If you observe the do after, nothing is there. So anybody they can enter into the for loop. Do while loop. Anybody they can enter into this do while loop. After completion of your task, then checking for the condition. Already diagram I explained, sir. Compared to syntax, diagram easy to understand. So same program I am changing it to do while loop. Let I equals to 1. Do begins statement I plus plus here while followed by if I is less than 11, then rotate the loop. The do while loop writing. Initial value as it is there. No checkings, no security guard. So public place, anybody they can enter into this one. Enter into the loop. Run all your steps. Then reaches to end of the loop. Whenever you reaches to this end of the loop, then it is checking the condition. Still condition successes are moving to forward. It is possible. Do while loop pushing you to top of the loop. If condition falls as are throwing out. Next to line break operation. Second loop I am writing here, anti-clockwise direction. I equals to 10. Declarations are not necessary. Reason, this variable I am not defined inside the do while loop. I define this one in the outside the loop. So loop completion after also your I variable is aware. Because this is loop, sir. But where is this step? In the open area, not inside any loop. So I variable memory allocated before starting of the loop only. Any do while loop or something, a situation wise do while loop. And this I variable is available in memory block after completion of the do while loop also. So the same I variable we can use again here. I equals to 10 do and bring the same I value here. Next I minus minus and while followed by I greater than 0. Here 2 times I variable not declared, sir, because here I variable is not within the loop scope. It is defined outside the for loop. By chance that variable I defined here, sir, same problem repeated. But here I am defining outside the loop. Same output, heading changed. So with these 3 programs are giving the awareness how to write the loops. One loop to one loop comparison, steps where it will coming, initialization where it will comes. But if you observe the 3 loops, the 3 different patterns. First loop, while loop, body one place, initialization one place, condition one place, that one. For loop, everything comes to closer. Well, again, do while loop, condition shifted to bottom. But actually, do while loop, condition bottom testing, in all scenarios, this is using not correct, sir. Each and for any type of situation, I want to use the do while loop, sir. It's not right way. How can say that one? Now, this loop we designed for printing of the 1 to 10 numbers. I'm printing here 1 to 10 numbers. By chance input value is 15, sir. We'll get the wrong output. Actual program designed to print the 1 to 10. But loop starting value is 15. And already you are out of the range. But when you are getting realization after one round completed. I equals to 15. Any checking? No. Directly entering or not? Entering. Print I value. How much? 16. How 16, sir? 15 కదా 14. దేవుడు మీకు మొక్కాలి స్వామి, దండేసి దండం పెట్టాలి మీకు. ఇక్కడ ఐ వాల్యూ 15 కదా సార్, అది 14, 16 హౌ ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్స్? ఇంకా యు ఆర్ ఇన్ హియర్ ఓన్లీ కదా. ఈ I++ when it is executes after printing before printing? After printing కదా అప్పుడు 15 అది ఇక్కడ కదా స్వామి, మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాం. We are at here this location. మళ్ళీ రీస్టార్టింగ్ సార్. I initialized with 15. Any condition checkings? No. Directly we are entering into loop. What is the first step, sir? Print I value. How much it is printing? 15 it is printing. Next I++. 15 becomes as a 16. Next loop closing. We are going to top again because loop under rotation. Just go into the next round. While loop is saying, hey, wait, ruko bhai. It is coming and checking your face. I less than or equals to 11 or not. What is current I value? 16 less than 11 or sir? Condition false. Now second got throwing out and not. Throwing out and gate closed with matter. And already we have some output on the screen. Already one time executed code. 15 displayed on the screen also. So after execution of the code once, then realization is comes. And the second time it is not repeating the loop. So that's why this is in all scenarios not correct to use. And without any condition checking, so if you want to run the program, the one time or two time, it's not necessary, sir. In that cases only we have to use. We want to check the condition, data is within the range, then only I want to print the output, sir. Data not within the range, I don't want to print any output, sir. That times I said don't touch this one. Data within the range, then only I want to print the output, sir. Go for your previous loops.